We need to talk about the difference between an atom, a molecule, a compound, and an element, and how to tell them apart by their formulas. So first of all, an atom is just one tiny particle. It's the smallest particle of matter. An atom always has the first letter capitalized, and if there's a second letter, it will be lowercase. So each time you see a capital letter, you're seeing a new atom. Here, H2 is two hydrogen atoms put together. So that's not a single atom, that's two of the same atom together. Iron, Fe, capital F, lowercase e, there's just one capital letter, there's not more than one of them, so that is an atom of iron. C is carbon, there's just a single C, there's not more than one, so that is another atom. HCl, there's a capital H, a capital C, and a lowercase l. The two capitals are two different elements. H is hydrogen, Cl is chlorine. And so there are two atoms, not just one, and so that is not an atom. All right, you take a minute, pause the video, and see if you can figure out the rest of these, which ones are atoms and which are not. Okay, so O2, there are two oxygens, so that is not an atom. It's two atoms of oxygen. But a single O is an atom. Two hydrogens, one oxygen, that's not a single atom. One carbon and four hydrogens, that's not a single atom. Two hydrogens, one sulfur, and four oxygens, that's not a single atom. Now, how do we know that the sulfur and the oxygen are separate? Well, because they're both capitalized. And a capital letter means you have a new element. Cl, capital C, lowercase l, that is a single element because there's only one capital and there's not more than one atom. But when you have Cl2, there's two atoms of chlorine put together, so it's not a single atom. Next, let's talk about molecules. A molecule is made of two or more atoms bonded together. It can be the same or different atoms. So H2, that is a molecule of hydrogen. There are two hydrogens, two of the same atom bonded together, and that makes it a molecule of hydrogen. If it was just H, that would be an atom of hydrogen. Fe, capital F, lowercase e, that's a single atom. That's not two or more atoms, so that is not a molecule. C, same thing, that's just one atom, so it's not a molecule. HCl. There are two different atoms. There's a capital H and a capital C, and they are different atoms. They can be the same or different, and that is a molecule. So this is a molecule of HCl, hydrochloric acid. All right, you take a minute, finish up the rest of these, and then look at the answers. So pause your video now. So now let's take a look. O2 is two oxygen atoms put together into a molecule. A single oxygen atom is an atom, not a molecule. H2O, there's a hydrogen, there's two hydrogens and an oxygen. That is two or more atoms bonded together, different atoms, so that is a water molecule. H2O is water. CH4, there's a carbon and four hydrogens. That's two different atoms bonded together, that is a molecule. H2SO4, two hydrogens, one sulfur, four oxygens. That is two or more atoms bonded together. Just a single Cl, that's an atom. And Cl2, once again, is a molecule. Next, let's look at compounds. A compound is made of two or more different atoms bonded together. So all molecules are compounds, but not all compounds are molecules. You have to have two different atoms to be a compound. Since H2 is a single type of atom, that is not a compound. Fe, once again, only a single capital letter, it is not a compound. Once again, not a compound. Now we have a hydrogen and a chlorine. That's two different atoms, two or more different atoms bonded together, so HCl is a compound. Pause the video, try the rest. All right, oxygen, O2, is not a compound because it's two of the same atom. O is a single atom, it's not a compound. H2O is a compound because it has two different atoms, hydrogen and oxygen. CH4 is a compound because it has two different atoms, H2SO4, three different atoms. Cl, just one type of atom, so that is an element, an atom of an element, not a compound. Cl2 is two atoms of an element. It's actually a molecule because it's two of the same thing. All right, finally, an element is one type of atom. It can be one atom or more than one, but it must be the same type of atom, that we have a sample of an element made of atoms. So H2 is pure hydrogen. It doesn't matter if it's one, two, or more than, however many. So that is an element. It's a pure element. There's only one type of atom there. Fe, there's only one type of atom. It's a pure element. Carbon, one type of atom, pure element. HCl, two capital letters, two different elements. That is not an element. That is two different elements. So that is not. All right, keep going. Try the rest. Pause the video. So O2 is a pure oxygen. There's two of them, but it's a pure element because there is only oxygen there. O, plain oxygen, is also the same. H2O is a compound because there are two different capital letters, so that is not an element. CH4, two different capital letters. H2SO4, three different capital letters, so none of those are elements. One capital C and a lowercase l, that is a pure element. And even if you have two of them, that's still pure chlorine. Notice that all atoms are pure elements, but all elements can either be an atom or a molecule. Notice, well, I've already said that. Hope this helps you tell the difference between atoms, molecules, compounds, and elements.